Welcome guys to today's crafts. Today with Barely Art, we're going to be doing our beginner-friendly videos. And in today's craft, we're going to be doing our graduation gift design. So we're going to be designing this with you guys the whole process. And then if you catch us the following weeks, we're going to be doing this project in our live videos. So you'll be able to design it with us and then be able to craft it and create it as well. So we're going to jump right in. We're going to go right over to a Barely Art's website. And we are going to, we can just search in the search bar right away for our 3 SVGs that we're going to be downloading. So we're going to grab the graduation cake box. We're going to be grabbing the graduation cake topper and the rolled flowers. So we can just search in the search bar right here. Or you can go and find it in the files. I think it's easier to find it if you just search for it. So graduation cap box. And here we're going to add to cart. And we'll just leave that right there. Then we'll go ahead and we'll grab our graduation cake topper. Graduation cake toppers. Perfect. Those. And then we will add our rolled flowers. So, rolled flowers. And then add that one to cart. Now that we have everything in our cart, we can just go straight out to checkout. Now, in our checkout, we'll just double check our SVGs. Got them all. Go ahead and click on our checkout. Now in this process, you'll go ahead and you will insert your email, put a billing address, and just the total will still be 0. The important part is that we have the email so that if you guys don't see the download right away on our site, you can get that. We can send it to you through email. So you guys can go ahead and do that. I've already got our SVGs downloaded, and so we'll just go straight over to Cricut Design Space. So now that you have those pieces, we will just jump right into Cricut, and we will go and we will start a new project. All right, so we will start this new project. And what we're going to do is we're going to go straight over to our uploads in our far left-hand column. We'll go to uploads, and you can see that we have our SVGs that we just downloaded, already uploaded to Cricut Design Space. So all you'll do is drag and drop them in, and they will be in your uploads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on each piece, and we're going to add to our canvas. So we'll just go ahead and we'll add all the pieces to the canvas, and then we will start making the card piece to this craft. So upload this piece, and these are the pieces to the cap. So this will be our graduation cap. Each piece we'll just add and we'll drag so we can see it, and then we will keep adding more pieces. Add our decorations, drag them over. Add our flowers. So there's 2 options for the flowers. I chose to pick this one. We really only need one of the flower options, so you can pick which one. I chose to do this one. Now, there's going to be a few more pieces that we add in the process of making this card, but I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this flower because we're going to have 8 different flowers. So we're going to just duplicate this individual flower. So you can do that a few different ways. You can right click it, or you can use the functions such as Control D or Control C and then paste, which is Control V. I'm just going to go with Control D and duplicate, and it'll bring us up more pieces. And then we can go ahead and we can copy both of those and duplicate from there. So now we have 4. And if you duplicate this one more time, then we have all 8 of our pieces. Now that we have all of our pieces, this project, we just decided to go with blues and yellows. So in this process, I'm going to make 4 of the flowers in our light blue. So you guys obviously have the freedom and choice to make it whatever color makes sense for you. And we're just showing you guys how to make some color changes. So we'll just highlight each one of the pieces, and I'm going to go up to the top, operations, and we will select the darker blue. So now we have 2 different colors of our flowers. And likewise, we'll do that in a little bit. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to create a card. So in that process, I'm going to insert a square. And in this square, we're actually going to change the color or change the design slightly on this square to make it a little bit more of a rectangle. And the sizes that we're going to use for this square, you can go up to the top in this top size bar where it has, and we'll uncheck the little lock button so that we can change the different dimensions of the width and the height. And so we will actually be changing our width to 4.25. And then we'll change our height to 6.5. And then it's going to think a little bit. There we go. Now we have our card size. And so we're also going to rotate this to 90 degrees. Turn it over a little bit. So now we have our card. Now, there's a few things that we're going to do with this, and this is going to be the fun part. So we're going to learn how to make offsets and welding, a few different little techniques that we will do in this process. So I am going to click on the basic cut square. We're actually going to turn it white so that we can see what we're going to do next. So in this, we're going to go over in our top toolbar and we're going to click offset. And the offset, we're actually going to draw inward. So we're going to go inward to, I'd say, 0.25. And you can type it in the top or you can drag and slide it over. I find it easier to type it in. You guys can decide as well. So we'll hit apply. And now we have 2 pieces. So we've got one offset piece and then we've got our white piece. So we'll just keep that right there. And so now we have 2 different colors. We're going to actually turn this guy yellow. So we'll turn him yellow. And now we're going to actually copy, Control C, Control V, and we're going to actually have 2 pieces. We can find our second piece. We might just hit the duplicate. So we will duplicate, and now we have 2 of the same thing. So in this, we're just going to hold him right there for a second, and we're going to add our oval shape. So we're going to go over to our shapes, go into our Cricut design shapes. We'll click on oval, and we'll grab our oval, and we will drag him down here so that we can do some cool things. So in this process, we're actually going to, basically, this is part of the design of the card. So we're going to cut this in half. So we're going to go up to the top, unlock our proportions, and we're going to shrink him in half. Now we have this yellow, and then we have that yellow. So we're actually going to go ahead and change this color to blue so you guys can see this a little bit more. Now we've got our blue piece, dark blue, and we've got our oval. So this oval's a little big, so we're going to make it just a little bit smaller. And our oval size, we'll make him about 2.9. So let's double check. Make the oval just a little bit smaller than this. So inside of this, once you guys see later, we're going to have a word inside of this. And so we'll make it big enough to see, but small enough to still see some of the other colors behind our craft. So we're going to go ahead and have our oval. We'll make this one a little bit smaller because I'm going to show you guys one more offset that we're going to do. So now that we have our pretty small size oval, this oval we can go ahead and make, we'll just go up to the size and do 2.9 by 2. Let's see, 1.99. That's about it. So now that we have these two pieces, what we're going to do is we're actually going to make an offset on this oval. So we'll go over to the oval. Now on the previous one, we made an offset to where we went inside. This offset, we're going to go 0.25 to the outside. So we'll go drag our bar over just a little bit. You can drag it, or you can go back into the numbers and you can go 0.25. And we can hit apply. Now we have an offset on our oval. So now we've got two pieces. And what we're going to do is we're going to drag this oval away from this piece. And we are going to actually highlight both of the oval and the small rectangle now. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the bottom on our layers chart. We're going to go to combine. And in combine, there's the option to weld. So we'll go ahead and we'll weld those together. Now we've got this shape. And this shape, we're actually going to drag and we're going to place right on top of our card. So now we've got this cool little design on our card. And we have an oval that we can now place right inside. Now you see how it just went behind? We're actually going to, over here in our layers chart, bring the oval above the welded piece so that it actually shows up in design space. Go ahead and we will grab our oval. And if it gets messed up on the sizing, just like that, go ahead and just hit the undo button, and then we'll go right back to the correct size. So now we have our little oval inside of our design. So now we can see the card kind of coming to life. Now, what we can do is we can group this all together, and we can now move the whole piece together. So now it's one piece. Now, we're going to make another square. So we can put that card aside. Now we've got that. And what we can do is we will go ahead and make another square. So we're going to go over to shapes, and we're going to grab square. And now we have another square. And we're going to make this the same size as this square. So we can go over to here. See, in our layers chart, we have grouped, ungrouped square. So this square is 6.08 by 6.08. So what we can do is we can grab our second square, and we can go up to the top chart, top bar, and we will put 6.08 as well. 6.08. And it should automatically make both of those squares 6.08 because the lock button is currently on. If it wasn't on, it would not make the height change at all. If it is on, it'll make the sizes move in proportion to each one. So now we've got 2 squares. Perfect. We've got our card, we've got some decorations, and we've got our flowers. So we're working our way through this project. So there's a few more things that we're going to do. We're going to go over to our text bar, and you can see how it automatically just puts everything up in this top corner. If you want to see, it just dropped the text. So we can grab the text over here and move it so we can actually see it and do something with it. So in this text, we're going to, since this is a 2024 graduation card, we're going to do class of 2024, just like that. Now you can go up here in your font sizes or fonts, and there's different options. There's obviously options that Cricut has, and then there's options that you can import fonts and stuff like that. We'll go over to, I think we're on the free fonts as well. So in this, you can set any font that you like to do. I think this one looks pretty cute, so we're gonna do Little White Lies on this font. We'll just go ahead and click that, and it should be good. So in this, we can go ahead and drag our font size to be a little bit bigger. It's a little small right now, a little too big. And what we're going to do with our font size is we're also going to add an offset to our font. So go up to the top, add our offset. And for this one, let's double check. 2.25. We can probably make that work. 2.2 or 0.25. So now we have a big offset. We have the text box. Right now, they're both the same color. What we can do is it automatically defaulted to black. Your automatic default might be different. It might be the same, but we can go to the text and we can change the color of the text. So we can change the color of the text to white, and we should be able to see our pieces. There we go. We can change the color of the offset. So now we have our offset. We've got our pieces. We've got our words. We have one more word to write, and then we can start putting the pieces together. Actually, once you guys have created the offset for the text, we'll go ahead and we'll attach them together. So you can hit the attach button. That way they don't move around. So now they're connected. So they are good. Now we've got one more text box to write. In this text box, we will, see how I put it over here? So we'll grab our text box, bring it over here, make them a little bigger so we can actually see what we are writing. We will try to. You need to zoom in so you can grab the box, make it a little bit bigger. This one we will write, hooray! Exclamation mark. Congratulations on graduating, basically. So we've got our text. This one we can leave without the offset. We can highlight them. It's a little big for our card, so we're going to make the font size. You can incrementally move the font size down up in the top toolbar where it says font size, or you can shrink them this way. So whichever way makes it easier for you. You guys can test that out. We'll go up here, so he's a little big. We can obviously still move the font down. We will make smaller, 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 smaller. This one obviously is a little bit slower of a process. I prefer to do double click and make them smaller. So we'll just go ahead and manually make it smaller. Now it fits inside of our card. So we've got a few different things. We still haven't changed all the colors. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and change the colors so that everything else matches. We can go ahead and highlight our top cap pieces. So in these pieces, we can go ahead and actually change them to blue. So we're going to change them to dark blue, same color as our flowers, and then the lighter color is the light blue. We'll go ahead and change, we'll actually ungroup this one because over here we can see how the whole thing highlighted over. We've got our tassel and our square. So we don't want everything to be the same color, so we're going to actually just individually click on the cap and we'll change it to the correct color. And same for this one as well. So now we have our colors. This is slightly different color. I want to make sure. Okay, so we're using all the same colors. Awesome. And then we have our last welded group. So in this group, obviously if you click on this, it's going to give you this question mark because it's looking at a few different pieces and it doesn't know exactly which one to actually change the color on. So you can click on your piece. It'll highlight over here in your layers chart, and we can go to groups and click on weld results. And this one we can change right over to our color change. So that's perfect. So now we have blues, yellows, and over here in our graduation cap accessories, we have a little bit of black. So we're going to go into this group as well. And we can click on each individual piece. And in that, there's more pieces. So there's individual pieces within that as well. We actually are just going to hide the backside of each one of these so that there is no yellow showing. I'll show you guys in a little bit. And then we can actually change the color for this to match our blues. So we'll change the colors. We can ungroup them because actually each piece is going to be used a different way. So we're going to actually ungroup them right up here in your top ungroup, or you can use the key codes. I think pressing the buttons is easier. It's obviously up to you. Here we have our blue and white diploma, and then we have our graduation date, and we have our cap. So we can go over to our cap, open up our pieces, and in this we can actually change the colors to, let's say, dark blue and light blue. We have two options. So this one can be light blue. So now we have two options, and we're just going to hide this back layer. So now we've got those. We're actually not going to use that piece. And now we have two different designs for our card. We can make him a little bit smaller, and we're going to drag right over here. Now obviously he's behind, so what we can do is we can grab in our layers tree and we can move all the way up. So we'll keep going all the way up, and he should show up right on top. A little big, so we'll make him a little bit smaller. And we can rotate just a little bit. We'll go the other way into the names. We'll rotate. Perfect. We'll grab, make sure that he's not covering up any words. And we will grab and move down. So it's a little hard to move, a little hard to see. We can just zoom in and it should be definitely easier. Grab, move down, and we will grab our graduation hat. So right here, we'll highlight that and move over to the card. So obviously he's behind the card, so we can move all the way up. And you just hold and release once he's above. Now we've got our graduation cap. A little big, so we'll make a little bit smaller. And these don't have to be exact sizes, guys. They just to wherever it fits on the card to make it look as symmetric as you want, as off symmetric as you want. This is up to you. So we can go ahead and rotate as well. We'll rotate just a little bit. Kind of looks like it's hanging off the top of the H. Perfect. And that looks good. So now we have our design. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see. You can slide these over. Now we have our card, our graduation cap. And what we're going to do is make class of 2024, and it can sit right on top of our other card. We'll just make class of 2024 just a little bit smaller so it fits inside of the cap. Awesome. Just like that. And we have 2 pieces for dimension. So same pieces, 2 pieces for dimension. Now for this part of our project, we're going to be using the pin tool. So we're actually going to go and find our text in our layers. We're going to go ahead and click our hooray. Currently, right now, it is a basic cut, so we don't actually want to be cutting. What we want to be doing is turning that into a pin so that the Cricut can actually cut, so that the Cricut can draw in pin. So we'll go over into the top left-hand corner, and we will click on the pin tool. And then we need to make sure that we attach it to our oval. So go ahead and grab the oval just to make it make sense. Move the oval up close by the text, and you can click on the drawing and click on the oval, and then we can go right to the word attach down at the bottom. So now that should be good. Those parts are done. So now when we use the actual make it button in Cricut, it will actually draw hooray with the pin tool. So that's sweet. And then we can move on to one more piece to our puzzle. So in this project, we have a bunch of lines currently on these 2 SVGs for the cap. What we need to do is actually, we need to turn them into score marks. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and click on the first one, and we can open it up, and you'll see all of these different lines that say basic cut. What we need to do is click on this project, go up to the basic cut, click basic cut, and we're going to hit score. And you're going to see it turn white and just a bunch of score marks. This is the easiest way to do it. We'll go all the way down to the bottom. Instead of clicking each individual basic cut and turning it into a score mark, what we can do is click on this last piece and actually go back up and turn it into basic. Now it's going to change the color, so we'll go back and we can change the color as well, right back to normal. Now we have one more step where we need to make sure that we're clicked on the entire piece and we hit the attach button so that the score marks actually get attached to this specific piece of paper. And we'll do the same process for this bigger one. So we'll go right into this project. We can open it up. In our layers tree, you'll see everything is a basic cut. We'll go right over to the left side, click basic cut, and we are going to find our score tool. Same thing, it'll turn white, and we can go all the way down to the bottom where it says the last one. And in here, we can just go right up to the top again, hit basic, and it will change the color back to the default color. Now we can just change the color one more time, and that should be our colors. And we have one more step where we need to attach these score marks to our project. So each one of those should be all attached, and when you know for sure, you can go up to the make it, and you can just double check. I like to do that, make sure that the score marks are appropriately marking on the pages. So you can go into here and you'll see score marks attached to the individual project. And that completes our design with Cricut Design Space. So you guys completed the design for today's craft, and don't forget to catch us on the next video where you guys will actually be able to craft along with us. And so you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, as well as right here on YouTube. And if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them in the comment section and we can get to those as soon as possible. Other than that, we will see you guys on the next video, and we can't wait to keep crafting along with you. Bye-bye!